Today we are making a flourless cake, which I think is kind of cool because normally with cakes we have flour. We come back and do a chocolate ganache, put that ganache on top. It's going to be amazing. And I like to decorate with a little bit of fresh fruit because chocolate and fruit pairs well together.
Our youngest, who was born with some health issues, and so that put us in another situation where it was like maybe we might have restrictions down the line. So why not do it now? I think that what I love the most about living nomadically is that I'm kind of getting to relive my childhood with my kids.
With your kids.
We have so many experiences that we have for the first time together. And I'm like, it's cool for me because I feel like it's healing for that inner child part of me that wanted to adventure and wanted to go places. I just kept saying the same prayer. Let me have somewhere where I can go for 3 months. Just give me 3 months where I can just like refresh and reset. Just give me 3 months.
I love that.
Outside of America.
Sweet Life with Nikki.
And now it's game on.
Today on Sweet Life with Nikki, we are talking about something that challenges the way that many of us not only think, but the way we live and the way that we parent and also define success. My guest is Destiny Bennett, known online as Mama Bennett. So we'll learn a little more about that. She's an author, storyteller, and a mother of 3 boys. And she is choosing to raise her kids a little bit differently, kind of breaking those traditional cycles of motherhood. Destiny, her husband, and her kids are a part of the Bennett gang. So they are a family that is about storytelling and documenting their unconventional lives, whether they're living in their tiny home or living abroad here in Portugal. So we're going to learn more about what it is to raise globally minded kids and design a life outside of traditional expectations. Today we are making a flourless cake, which I think is kind of cool because normally with cakes we have flour, but because we're talking about doing things unconventional, we are making the flourless cake, and we are bringing in none other than Destiny, Mama Bennett. Come on, honey. Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we're making a flourless cake.
Different.
Yes, different. And you are living life differently, which I think is amazing. Okay, so tell me, what led you to say, you know what, I'm going to kind of just flip things upside down and do something different?
Honestly, I feel like if you ask me and my husband, we tell this story differently, which is why I'm glad that he's not here.
Okay. Well, you tell your story, honey, because I'm asking you. Okay.
My husband was in the military for pretty much like from the moment we got married until midway into our marriage. And I think it restricted us a lot. And I've always kind of been like a free-spirited person. I like to do things randomly and outside of the box, I think. But obviously the military doesn't leave much room for that. And so I think after he got out of the military, it took us a little bit of time. We were kind of trying to do the American dream thing, but I always tell people, I think after a while we realized we have free will.
Yeah, we do. We do.
So it was like, okay, you know what, why not? This feels like a time to do things differently. We also had our youngest, who was born with some health issues. And so that put us in another situation where it was like maybe we might have restrictions down the line. So why not do it now?
Yeah, I love it. That's good. Okay. So now, what did your family think when your family said, okay, when you told your family, we're going to build this tiny house, we're going to just, kind of be nomadic and go from place to place, take our kids with us? What did the family say?
So it was a decision my husband and I came together. And again, I feel like it was really random, and it was very impulsive. We were doing our thing. We were living the American dream. We had finally came from being essentially homeless to like really came up in life. Like God really flipped the script, and we had the house we wanted, we had the life we wanted, and all of a sudden they wanted to raise our rents like significantly. This is after people are kind of coming out of COVID, and they're like, hey, you know what? Your rent's going up. Do you want to sign a new lease, or do you want, are you guys going to move out? And we were like, okay, we were already kind of used to being able to, do little trips, and we were outdoors a lot and doing a lot of travel just locally. And we were like, you know what, if we sign this lease and we, commit to this, we're kind of gonna have to cut out a lot of the travel. It's gonna be living and surviving and much less freedom that we had kind of become accustomed to. And so my husband was like, well, we don't have any money saved. We didn't do anything the conventional way. And a lot of people thought we were crazy because it was an overnight thing where we were like, well, some people are doing this on the road life, but we couldn't find like an RV or anything that was conducive to our family size within our budget. And my husband was like, well, I could build one.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Right, yeah. And I didn't know how much faith I had in that, honestly. I'm like, I saw him build a table once and it was a little uneven. But I was like, okay, I mean, we can always come back to this, but if we're going to try it, then now is the time to try it. And we did. The kids were young at the time, but I mean, I think they've always kind of been down for an adventure. So it was like, all right, we're going to see what it's about.
Great point. We can always come back to this. But so I was just wondering, because I know, like with my family, sometimes when I make decisions that are unconventional, you get the people like, oh, why are you doing that? Whatever. But then you also get some people that are encouraging. So how were you able to, I guess, like silence the noise? Because I think you made a good point about we can always come back to this, right? So how do you silence the noise, the naysayers, and really focus on what it is that you want or what's best for you and your family?
I think that as a family, we've always done things unconventionally in a sense. When we got married, we were already pregnant. My husband was 18 and I was 20. And so,
okay, right, all right, cougar.
Scratch that. And so right off the bat, we had naysayers. We had people that, I mean, even our pastor told us that he wouldn't counsel us because he was like, they're too young. Like, this is a mistake. And but I think we also have always kind of had a thing where we like to prove people wrong. So that definitely played into it. But I don't think we've ever done things conventionally in a sense. And we've always had naysayers, I mean, throughout our entire journey. And so I think that it kind of was the norm. It was like, well, we know this is probably the craziest idea that we've had yet. So it comes with the territory. But we've also always been, and I've also been adamant about being the kind of the ones that redirect the path. And it's always worked out for us, regardless of what people have said. And so I'm like, well, if we have to be the first ones in the family to take this path and see where it leads,
so be it. Let's do it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, so be it. Let's get started on this cake. Okay. All right. So we are making a flourless cake. And I know you're gluten-free. Everything I do is gluten-free because my babies. Yes. So this is melted butter. And we're going to add in a half cup of cocoa powder. So that melted butter will help to mix this together. So I'm going to have you help me mix it, honey. Yes, okay. Yes. We're going to get in there, get our hands dirty, so to speak. It smells so good. Yeah, I know. You can just smell the aroma of that cocoa powder. So I'm going to add in a little bit of sugar, and this is about 3/4 cups of sugar. Okay. Yes, and actually there's a little bit more in there. We're going to pull it out. I'll use my hands. Okay, so get that in there because we need that goodness. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit of vanilla. And I measure my vanilla in love, so I don't know why I'm using this cap because usually I pour it in. So look, y'all know, okay? Y'all see me cooking up, I just start going like this. And when I feel like stopping, when I feel that there's been enough love in there. The ancestors have spoken. The ancestors have spoken. That's right. The ancestors have spoken. Okay, so what have you enjoyed most about just kind of living this nomadic life, like freeing yourself? Thank you, girl. I'm overworking you here, girl. I'm gonna overwork you. Yes, no, you're okay. I didn't tell you when to stop, right. But yeah. But so, what have you enjoyed most about this nomadic experience?
I think what I've enjoyed most is I grew up with a very, I don't know the way to say it. I guess typical,
conventional,
typical, yeah. We lived in the same house from when I was 2 years old until I was 18 years old. So pretty much my entire childhood, everything was very the same. Mm-hmm. And I talk to my kids about this all the time. And so I think that what I love the most about living nomadically is that I'm kind of getting to relive my childhood with my kids.
With your kids.
We have so many experiences that we have for the first time together. And I'm like, it's cool for me because I feel like it's healing for that inner child part of me that wanted to adventure and wanted to go places. And it's cool for them because I'm just like, wow, you're doing. I mean, by the time you're my age, you're gonna have done way more than I did by my age.
Yeah.
And so I think that's my favorite part of it is just getting to do all of these firsts together.
Okay. So what are some firsts that you've done with the kids?
Oh man, so many. I mean, so many, honestly. Even being here in Portugal, like
Being
this is
here in
my
Portugal.
first time in Europe
Yeah,
with
there we
them.
go.
First time seeing the Grand Canyon was with them.
Okay.
I think the most exciting, I mean, no shade to like my childhood. I mean, my mom spoiled me rotten. Like I had everything I could have ever asked for. And I think that we kind of differ in that way because she grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and she had.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm from. Well, I live in Michigan. I'm
Yeah.
not from. I live in Michigan. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, my mom is Michigan, born and raised, and
Okay.
so
All right,
she
Detroit.
had 9 sisters and 1 brother. There was 10 of them. Don't make me lie. But she was kind of like she grew up not having very much.
Yeah.
And so once she attained that, she's like, no, this is
Right.
it. This is all
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a different dynamic because I grew up having,
Right.
everything she dreamed of.
Exactly.
But then it was like, but I want all the things that I dream of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the question.
Well,
I
that's.
think I got it. I was like, how did we get here?
Well, we were talking about some of the experiences that you've been able to give to your kids. Like, what have you enjoyed most about this nomadic life? So, but you pretty much said that.
I think I was just saying, like,
Even
no
talking
shade
about-
to my childhood.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
had a
But
great
you know what?
childhood, too.
And it's not any shade. I think it's just a saying that this is something that I love because it's innately me. I love adventure and all of that. And like you said, your mom did a great job.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now I get to live vicariously through live with my kids.
Yeah.
I forget. I won't even say through, but get to live with them, do life with them.
And to that point too, even I think one of my other favorite parts is I've gotten to introduce her to travel. So she just left here, Portugal. It was her first time in Europe. And her first international trip, we went to Belize and we took her to Belize. So she's gotten to do these firsts with me as well. And they're her first and my first and the kids' first. So as a multi-generational thing, I think that's really cool too.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely cool. I love it. I love it. Yeah, if my mom was still living, girl, she'd be right here. She'd have been here the whole time. She'd be like, I know I'm not supposed to be here for 90 days with you, but I'm going to be here for 90 days with you. So yeah. So I think that's awesome that your mom was able to come. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to crack these eggs and finish up this cake here. It's a flourless cake. Okay. So we are only going to use eggs, and the rest of this is going to make a wonderful cake. Okay. Now, do you crack eggs?
I crack eggs.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Let's crack them, honey. Let's crack some eggs. And we're going to put those in there. And so, yeah, it's just butter. So we got the fat, we got sugar, and we have the cocoa. And we're going to stick some eggs in there. And we're going to mix this together, and we're going to put it in the oven. It's like that easy. This is just like that. Wow. Just like that. It's a flourless cake, so it's super simple. And like you talked about, we're in Portugal, so we met in Portugal, which is kind of awesome. Like this just group of people who are all over the world, honestly, that have come together to say, hey, we want to have this experience of living abroad for 3 months in a different place with our families. And I made a cake for my daughter the other day. Y'all know her birthday's on Valentine's Day. And so I have this heart-shaped cake pan, and that's what we're going to use. So, so people are like, why did you make it heart-shaped? Well, because
it was made with love.
Girl, you took the words out of my mouth. It was made with love. That's right. Absolutely. It's made with love. Tell me more about like the routine, like how this really looks on a practical level. Because I think that there's a lot of people who are like, what does this life look like, right? And so maybe they might be interested, or maybe they can live vicariously through you.
Yeah, I think that the cool thing about nomadic life is you kind of get to make it your own. So we've met a lot of nomadic families that do things differently, but for us personally, we homeschool our boys, and we homeschool them independently. So we don't go through a charter, we don't do an online program. We kind of curate our curriculum based on what they're interested in, based on where we are. So for example, when we visited like the Grand Canyon, we are studying the Grand Canyon. Their reading is based around the Grand Canyon. I feel like not all families do it that way. Maybe it's maybe it's not the one that people might jump right into.
Okay. But
But
it's how you're doing it. You're
right,
doing it
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
and it
yeah,
works for us, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we do a lot of camping off grid. We don't really camp in campgrounds or anything like that. We kind of like to be like in the midst of nature. Um, and the
So
cool,
I was gonna say, so if you're camping in the midst of nature, like, is it just you find like private land, or like how does that work?
yeah. So the great thing about the states is there's a lot of what's called BLM land, and BLM land stands for Bureau Land Management, and so basically it's just open space that is you can use for camping. They have forests, they have, I mean, rivers, and it's
Wow.
so
All
many
across the U.S.
all across the U.S.
And
Yeah,
how do you find out about them?
there's a lot of different apps. There's a lot of different resources
Okay.
online. Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, really, they have them everywhere. And so most of them, you can stay there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then usually you only have to leave for like 24 hours and then you can come back. So depending on, I mean, we've had places where we found that's like right on the river, gorgeous. And if we really like that spot, all right, we pack it in, leave for a day, come back, set up again.
Set up again.
Yeah. And so it allows us to kind of have some type of, I guess you could say, what is the word I'm looking for? Not foundation, but like
Consistency,
yeah,
maybe, or some,
consistency
yeah.
in a sense. But also I think our boys are very, they have a big sense of adventure. So we can be somewhere for, a couple weeks or whatever. They're like, all right, we're ready to move on.
Okay.
And we kind of base our day around, what we want to do, what they're interested in, what they're doing in school. And we also have less, I think, traditional school hours in terms of like reading, writing, all the basics. Whereas in school you have to do like 8 hours,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we're really knocking it out in like 4 hours.
So you and your husband are curating this curriculum.
Right.
So this may seem a little overwhelming to someone initially, and I'm going to be honest. Like, I taught my kids during homeschool. I mean, during COVID. I'm sorry. I homeschooled my kids during COVID. Let me say that again. I homeschooled my kids during COVID. And I was like, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I found like a curriculum.
Yeah.
But I knew that I did not want them in school, and the school was closed for a while, but even when it reopened, I kept them out. So they were out for the first 2 years. And I, like you, found that we didn't need several hours, like 2-3 hours, and we're good.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, woo, the thought of like, okay, I got to plan this. And as I start to get older, it's like, oh, you got pre-algebra, you got algebra. Oh, Lord, so how do you curate this educational experience? Just like you said, you don't use any type of like a standard curriculum. So like, how do you guys come up with this?
I think that we kind of just started to look at education from a different lens when we started traveling, because our kids learn so much on their own. And one of the big things for us is like, we kind of keep their world centered around education. So it's like, we have limited screen time hours, but when you are, if you choose to do screen time during the day, it needs to be something educational. Like, look for what you're interested in. And I'm a big believer in, there's a lot that kids learn in, the public school setting that is not really necessary. There's a lot I learned in public school that I don't even remember.
Yeah, that we don't use.
Right. And I'm like, the things that I do remember were the things that interested me, the things that I was passionate about, and then the things that I'm still doing today. And so obviously we teach, the basics. I'm not a math girl. I never was good at math. My husband does that. I love language arts, so I teach the language arts. But we also keep things very moldable. And so I feel like we do planning to an extent, but it's not the traditional, like, we're going to do the curriculum for this whole month. It's very flexible. And it is centered around what they're supposed to be learning, but we also leave a lot of room for how can we shape that into what you're interested in and what you want to do, so that you can fall in love with learning instead of it feeling like this thing that was forced on you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So give me one thing maybe that, one of your sons are also handsome, like they were passionate about, that you were able to kind of like create some type of learning around.
Yeah. So our middle son, he's 9, and my husband is a herbalist. And so my middle son, he's always loved science. He's always, I mean, since he was very little, we could tell he had a passion for science, but he really took a liking to herbs and herbalism when my husband started studying it. And so we just kind of started nurturing that. And when we're out like camping and things like that, obviously, I mean, maybe not, obviously, maybe not everybody knows this, but herbs are growing all around. There's so many wild herbs. And so we got him like the identification app so that he could start identifying herbs. We started getting him books so that he could start reading about them. We encouraged him to, watch videos instead of being like, hey, this week we're writing about George Washington. It's like, okay, well, you're already interested in herbs, so let's write about herbs this week. And that led to him taking a college level herbalism course because he wants to get his master herbalism certificate. So that's what he's working on right now. And a lot of people are like, well, how did you get him to do college level work? And I'm like, well,
he's passionate about it.
We just nurtured what he's passionate about.
Exactly. So you didn't even have to push them towards it. You just guided them to what they love doing. And, the rest is history. I think that's so true. I think when we're able to like nurture what they're really interested in, we don't have to try to impose our parenting, control or whatever we try to do sometimes when we're really not in control, but we think we are. But like to just allow them to do what they want to do. And when they are doing the thing that they love, it's not work. Just like with us, when we do things we love, it's not work. And they excel. They excel. So it sounds like, gosh, he wants to be a master herbalist and he's doing a college class. Like he's excelling on his own. Like you don't have to say, we're going to do this, this, and this, because he's like, I want to do this.
And he's proud of it. And I think that when it comes to like the American school system, we're very heavily focused on the academic side in terms of the grades and, all of the information that they're supposed to know, but it's kind of like, well, who said they're supposed to know that? Yeah. And why do they need to know that? And how is it relevant to their future and who they want to become? Yeah. And so I feel I've always felt like if you nurture what they're already interested in, what their God-given gifts already are, they're going to be ahead. There's no way that they can be behind.
Exactly. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to get this cake in the oven, and then once it bakes off, then we are going to come back. Yeah, we're going to taste it. We're going to come back. We're going to come back and do a chocolate ganache. Put that ganache on top. It's going to be amazing. But before we go, because we're going to take a little break here, we're going to listen to your kitchen confession. And let me tell you my kitchen confession. My kitchen confession is I like to lick the bowl.
My kitchen confession is sometimes my kids like to come and get what they call samples of the food, which is basically them just pinching off the food before it's actually ready. And sometimes I tell them that they can't have any samples. No one's having samples tonight. There's no samples tonight. But that does not apply to mommy.
Okay, so now, first of all, thank you for that kitchen confession. We appreciated it. We all have kitchen confessions. I know y'all be doing stuff in the kitchen, so you can share your kitchen confession with us too in the comments. All right, so now we're going to make the ganache. Now, when we make chocolate ganache, at least the way I like to make it, is that I will warm my cream. So this is heavy cream. I have a cup of heavy cream, and then I use a half cup of chocolate chips. But I warm up the heavy cream, get it nice and hot. You don't want it to boil. Get it nice and hot, and then we're going to pour it over the chocolate, mix it till it blends together, let it set to the side while our cake is baking. We're going to drizzle it over top of the cake. So good. Okay. And I like to decorate with a little bit of fresh fruit because chocolate and fruit pairs well together. Adapting to a nomadic lifestyle, I'm assuming, can be different because you said you live in a pretty conventional lifestyle. Right. Okay, so what are some things that would surprise the average person like myself about living, a nomadic life?
Gosh, I think on the positive side or on the negative side?
I want both. We want the real, right? We don't just want the positive. We want what real life, because there might be people who are thinking, man, this might be for me. But I think it's good for people to understand the good and the bad, and then how can they balance it? Like, is this really for me? Right. What were some things where you were like, were you ever at a point where like, oh, maybe I might want to go back to my normal life? Yeah. Or were you always like, I'm fully in? Because sometimes, we go through those moments, right?
Waves, yeah. I think that on the negative side, some of the things you don't take into consideration, because when you see people living nomadically online, obviously most things you see online, it's very like beautiful and romanticized. And number one, they don't talk about pests, bugs, things like that. I was never an outdoors girl growing up. And so I've been kind of adapting through this whole process. and the bugs. If you do not like, I mean, if you are absolutely terrified of bugs, you're not going to like, no matter what beach you're on or beautiful grassy meadow, they're going to find a way.
Yes.
And sometimes they're foreign looking. Sometimes they're little aliens.
That would scare me a bit. I'm not going to lie. Look, clench my pearls. Clench my pearls.
I mean, we've had our dog dragging the head of something, and leave it like right in our entryway. And I'm like, well, now we have to deal with that. So that's a whole thing. We had an incident recently living in Northern California with ticks.
Oh.
I grew up in Southern California. I don't know anything about ticks. And what I do know about ticks is, I mean, they're big enough that you can see them. And so we knew it was tick season. We had been looking for them.
I've never seen a tick before.
Well, let me tell you. A neighbor of ours told us, hey, so I'm glad you guys know about ticks. Do you know about nymphs? I said, what is a nymph? They said, it's a baby tick. It's about the size of a grain of pepper. I knew we were supposed to be looking for ticks because they cause Lyme disease, or they can, but I didn't know anything about nymphs. And so lo and behold, my youngest, who just loves the outdoors because he's pretty much been raised in it, look at his armpit because those are the places they like to hide, the moist, warm places. And sure enough, there's this tiny speck. I mean, probably smaller than a grain of pepper that you wouldn't even know was there unless you were looking for it. And it was a tick.
Okay. Woo! Okay. So our cream is nice and hot. It's not boiling. So we're just going to kind of swirl this a little bit. Yep, go ahead. And we're just going to mix it until it gets nice and creamy. Set it aside, and we're going to put it on our cake a little bit later. Okay, so yeah, that about took us out. I think that might take some of us out. We might be like, we'll just go visit you.
Right. There's positive surprises too. But that was one that took me out.
So now tell me about, because I mean, let's be real, like bathing, things like that. Like I would be like wondering about that.
It's not what you're used to at home. But I think that that's probably one of the biggest ones that surprise people and separates people. And it really also depends on your setup. Okay. Most people that have
that's beautiful.
That transformed lovely.
Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Great job.
Most people that have RV setups, they're used to hooking up to a water system. But when you live off grid, when you like really, really about that life, in my opinion, you're not staying in RV parks all the time. And so what my husband, who's brilliant, created was like a recirculating water system. And so essentially the water just goes through a filter, it cleanses itself, and then it recirculates. So it keeps coming out. But then you have little dirty boys that are like, it's like, oh, okay, well, that filter's done for, you know? So and then it's also trying to get the pressure right and the warmth and the cold. It doesn't always cooperate with you. So it's not the same comforts that you're used to, but I think that it teaches you to be resilient and adaptable. And it also teaches you that, again, it goes back to the sacrifices. It's like, what are you willing to sacrifice to live a freer life?
A freer life. Yes, I can feel the freeness. Okay, that's awesome. That's amazing. Ooh, okay, you stretching me. You're stretching me, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll be ready to give us all this. I go camping, it might be more so glamping now, with my girls. They do Girl Scouts. I've been a Girl Scout troop leader for them. So I'm like, okay, we go camping. But, so I know some of the subtleties of kind of living, not really off the grid, but, out in the nature, out in the wilderness and things like that. But yeah, I think that's good to know. But I feel like you said, like it builds resilience and it challenges you. And it challenges you to think about, what do I really need? Do I need some of these modern conveniences that I have? Like, are they really necessary?
Exactly.
So what is something that you don't necessarily have in your day-to-day life now that you used to have? And at one point you might have thought, I couldn't live without this thing. And now you're like, it's not a big deal. Like, is there anything that like maybe you were kind of, I don't want to let go of this, and now it's like, not a big deal?
I think that mine is a little bit different because it's not one single thing, but it's more so things in general. I used to be that person. I love thrifting. I love shopping with no purpose. Just, this is cute. That's cute. I want that. I want this. And obviously, when you live in a tiny house, everything has to be a lot simpler. You only have the things you need, because otherwise you're going to have a cluttered space. And so I think that was a challenge for me, because I'm used to if I like it, I want to buy it,
Yeah.
And I don't have that luxury anymore. But it ended up being one of those things where it was like, oh, I actually feel a lot more at peace, not being surrounded by clutter, or not having that junk drawer where I put all the stuff that, you know, I bought and I didn't really have a need for it. And I come from kind of a family of compulsive buyers and hoarders to an extent. And so I feel like it kind of broke that generational curse for me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that. Broke that generational curse. And that makes sense because sometimes we do like just, oh, I like this, and we're holding on to all these things. And sometimes it's like, but why?
Yeah.
And so you're freeing yourself, right? In some ways to be like, this is not necessary.
Yeah.
It was fun, but not necessary.
Exactly.
And the fact that you can live without it now, right? So that's progress. That's growth. That's awesome. Okay, so tell us what made you decide to come to Portugal. So we met in Portugal. We're here with a whole group of people with Balanced Life. But what made you think, or your family, you guys like, okay, that's what we're gonna do?
Honestly, I didn't decide to come to Portugal. God decided I was coming to Portugal.
Okay, amen. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Like I told you, it was really unintentional.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And the short version of that is, which kind of goes back to like the me being gluten free. I've been having health issues for years. And one thing that's very difficult living on the road, living in small spaces, having health issues. And so that was becoming something where it was just like, it was wearing on my mental health, like all the things. And I just kept saying the same prayer. Let me have somewhere where I can go for 3 months. Just give me 3 months where I can just like refresh and reset. Just give me 3 months.
I love that.
Outside of America. Like, I don't care where it is. Just give me
and be
3
specific
months.
with the prayer. Okay, come on. No, you do.
And so when this opportunity came about, I was just like, oh my God, 3 months. 3 months. That's what I kept praying for was 3 months. And it's a 3-month cohort. And I was like, all right, well, that's it.
I love it. I love it. I feel that is also very powerful because I do also believe in the power of our words and our intentions, and the fact that you were like 3 months, and then what manifested were these 3 months. So I feel like when COVID happened, and I know it was not just for me, but I really feel like it was. I was going through a season. I had lost my mom, and it was just a lot of grief and loss. And life just felt very, very overwhelming. Yeah. And 2 young girls, husband, like just life was life. Yeah. And I was just like, God, you know, if things can just slow down. I remember I just kept praying, like, God, I just need things to slow down. Like, I don't want life to stop because I want to keep living for my kids. Right. But I just need life to slow down. And then COVID happened. And so I actually, surprisingly, unlike many people, I actually enjoyed COVID. Because life slowed down. Yes. I could breathe. I could get in touch with myself. I did fun activities with the kids. I mean, we were always doing fun and cool things and going outside in nature. And I would just make up things. Like we wanted to go to China actually that summer. Not summer, spring break that year. And we didn't go. We had just gotten back from Japan in January. We're going to go to China because the girls have been studying Mandarin. I'm like, we're going to do this. And I ended up like creating this like field trip, and we got on a plane, and I remember like my husband was the flight attendant and was coming out and bringing us snacks and all this different stuff. But I was like, oh gosh, and then we're in the plane and we're doing this, and then we got off the plane. It's like, okay, and I had like these videos of showing like the Great Wall of China. It's like, oh wow, and now we're like going. I mean, just like all this imaginative stuff, but stuff that I would not have done. Yeah, otherwise. Right, and it also helped me to heal because I was in such a season of grief and loss. Yeah. But anyway, so I definitely understand. I feel like that's so important for all of us that we really have to ask God for what we really need, because if we truly believe it, he'll open up a way, but we have to then accept the way, right? Because you'd be like, well, is this really what you want me to do? Right, exactly. Yeah. But it sounds like it was easy for you to be like, yes, this is what I want to do.
I mean, it was almost like, hey, here's my order, or here's my order, and it was like, all right, here's your food. It's like, no, yep, that's exactly right. That's definitely my order.
Okay, well that's good because sometimes I feel like we might pray for an order and we get it and we're like, well,
Right.
what I really
I'm
want,
not sure that's what I
yeah.
want to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, and we missed the blessing. So
Yeah.
the fact that you were able to realize, oh, this is what I wanted,
Yeah.
this is what I need, and then to be able to welcome that in. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. All right, so one of the things we like to do here in the kitchen is rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Just give me the first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. So what is the number one question people ask you when they realize you're living a nomadic life?
How do
How?
you do it, and how do you make money for yourselves?
Okay. How do you do it? And how do you support yourself? Okay, good. All right. So what is one must-have item that you need when traveling with your kids?
My headphones.
Your headphones. Okay. I ain't mad at you with the headphones on. Okay. All right. All right. So what place does your kids love the most? Or did your kids love the most?
Belize.
Belize. Okay. All right. So what is the biggest parenting lesson about traveling with kids?
The biggest parenting lesson: life is short.
Life is short.
mean, yeah, do the things, nurture the things that matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the things now, right? Do the
Yeah.
things now. Okay. What's the funniest moment that you've had while traveling with your kids?
I'm drawing a blank. Funniest moment.
Or any funny moments?
Oh,
Funny
man.
things has happened.
I'm really bad at thinking of things on the spot.
Okay. That's okay. Just because we
Funny
have
things.
editing. We can come back to it. That should be
Yeah.
finished. Okay. All right. Okay. So window or aisle seat?
For me,
For you,
Yeah.
aisle. Okay. Favorite food?
fried chicken.
Ooh, girl. I love the fried chicken. Now listen, where you frying chicken out here in this nomadic life? That's what I want to know. We want to know where she's frying this chicken, okay? Tell us about frying this chicken. I know we're supposed to be doing rapid fire, but I'm all in on the chicken, okay? Okay, so
At my house, yeah, we
Okay.
have like a portable stove.
okay, and we're frying chicken
Frying
out there in the
chicken.
middle of nowhere.
Yes,
Okay, all right, I love
Trying
it.
not
Okay.
to attract bears.
Ooh. She lost me at the Bears. She lost her sister at the Bears. Okay. So what are the top 3 books you think everyone should read?
Oh, one we were just talking about the other day, The Alchemist.
Oh, I love that.
There's a book I love. It's called Signs: The Secret Language of the Universe.
Oh, I love that.
And
Okay, those are 2 good ones. We're going to take it, honey. We're going to take it. Okay, so what is your discipline style in one word?
probably not hard enough.
Not hard enough. Okay, all right, but that's okay. That's okay. Listen, we got to be honest. We got to be honest. Okay. All right, so are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm an afternoon girly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she afternoon. So unconventional.
Right.
There you go. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. So, what is a family rule that you never break?
We don't hit.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
we don't hit each
don't
other.
hit. All right.
Yeah.
I got it. That's good. All right. So tell me, what is your favorite quote, mantra, or saying?
That's a good question. I guess off the top of my head, there's probably a better one, honestly, sitting in there. But I feel like I always come back to life is short because we take so much for granted, and we always have the mindset that, oh, we can come back to it later. We can do it later. And there's not always a later. Things
true.
always change. Life is
true.
constantly changing, and so just do it. Just do it now.
Just do it. Well, with that, we are just going to take a break and come back, and we are going to With that, we are going to take a break, come back, and we're going to try this chocolate cake, honey. We're going to put this nice ganache on top. We're going to see how it turns out.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, it is done. We have our heart-shaped flourless chocolate cake, and we are just going to flip this baby right on over. And we're going to add in our chocolate ganache, or add on, I should say, and just rub it all in.
I was really impressed with how well it like puffed up.
Yeah.
With no baking soda.
No,
or
nothing. Just chocolate and egg.
Wow.
So, and I'm just doing this, just let some drip down over the side. But if you want to get real fancy, you can do a piping bag and, really decorate it. You can do all the things. You can put, put this in a piping bag and decorate. But we're going to keep it simple today.
Simple, yeah.
One of the things I've realized in Portugal is to keep it simple.
Yes.
Because sometimes, we can just, you live in the nomadic, we're talking about, but you know how to keep it simple. No, that is good. It's so important because I think sometimes we just do too much.
Yes.
Right? When sometimes all that is not necessary. And it creates added stress and all types of stuff.
I agree.
So, yeah, so I just kind of
you got the cute cut.
Well, that's okay. We can do, girl, listen, we're going to make this, we're going to put it however you want on there.
Cut.
Look. The thing is, do some more like that. It's gonna be beautiful.
Okay. I'm like, maybe
we're gonna just decorate them.
Maybe you should do this one like that.
Okay, I can put that in the. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, we could do that. So that's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I always say all the time. And I think you get it, right? I mean, living a nomadic life, it can be messy. It can be fun. Messy and fun. Sometimes messy cannot be fun, but I'm talking about the fun messy, where you get dirty or you get out there, you just have fun and you don't worry about all the things.
Yeah.
Right? You just enjoy life, enjoy your kids, enjoy all of that.
All right. I think.
Okay.
Oh, see.
Yeah,
already
see?
messing it up.
That's okay. No, you're not. Don't even think of it that way.
Okay.
It looks beautiful. And we're going to eat it.
Right. That part.
Right. That part. And it looks good, right? Everybody? Yes. One of the things I learned, so I was making a cake. Like I said, I used this to make Malia's cake while I was here. And I was started to realize I was being very self-critical because I'm used to like being home, having all the tools, whatever. And I'm here and I'm like, okay, like the frosting wasn't frosting right because the powdered sugar's a little different here, just little things. And I said, let me be proud of myself that I made a cake in Portugal. Okay, because it is different. It's harder to find baking soda. I mean, even baking soda, but brown sugar. They don't really have brown sugar. They have certain stores where you can find it because it's not something they use often.
Yeah.
Vanilla is hard to find here.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? We have to give ourselves credit. So we're going to be proud of our creation. Okay. So now we get to dig in and try it. So this is have you ever had a flourless cake?
I've never had a flourless
cake. Okay. So
before.
it's very like dense, almost like a brownie. So give it a try. I'm going to take myself a little piece and let me know what you think. And you have a nice little plate here. I'm just going to take it over here. I like the fruit.
Oh my God.
Isn't it like nice and creamy?
I want to cry.
Aww.
It does taste like a brownie. And I've been craving brownies so bad, but I haven't been able to find gluten-free brownies.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. All we need is some ice cream.
All right, cheers. All right, so let you guys know you can enjoy any kind of life you want if you want it. So just decide that that's what you're going to do. I love that you guys did that. I love that you thought outside the box. And hopefully this encouraged someone to think outside the box, whether it's deciding to be a nomadic family like yours or to just do something, travel for a while, whatever it is. Like, give yourself permission to do something different, right? Be unconventional in some way. So that's my challenge for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. You gave us a lot of great nuggets in terms of just being able to be free, to be who we are, and life is short. Life is short. So go out and do the thing. Have a sweet day, and we hope you sweeten someone else's along the way.